I get asked the question all the time, Paul, how do you deal with all the PC hardware that you have that's strewn about your workspace? And the answer is poorly. I do not always do a good job at keeping things tidy and organized. So today I have several different projects that we're gonna mash together in a single video. I have some systems that need to be updated. I have this PC that I built a week or two ago. This one needs to get prepped to ship out because it's up for giveaway, and that giveaway should be open, by the way. If you want to enter, you can still go ahead and do that. And generally speaking, just gonna try to reduce the amount of stuff that's around here and clean things up so we can continue making epic builds like this, because we've got 2 more planned for November and December, all leading up to our Extra Life charity event on December 6th. Anyway, that's enough intro. Let's get started.
Excellent!
Today's video is brought to you by the Paul's Hardware store on paulshardware.net, the only official source for Paul's Hardware merchandise, tantalizing t-shirts, brilliant beer sets, high-quality hoodies, and more, all featuring the classic thumbscrew for tasteful and refined viewers, or the 8-bit thumbscrew for tasteful and refined viewers who hate curves. New designs are added sporadically and at random, so head over to paulshardware.net and get some of that sweet, sweet merch right now. Or not right now, after you watch the video. Either way.
So to begin, we're going to be prepping this system to be shipped, and shipping a full PC can be a little bit challenging. You want to make sure it gets there in one piece, and the thing that I always do when I ship a PC is remove the graphics card, because that's an item that can bounce around a lot during shipping and it can damage the GPU and the motherboard itself. The other alternative to removing the graphics card is to fill the interior with packing foam, and I do have some of that as well, but there's also a bunch of spider webs in this system since I decorated it for Halloween. I realized I either need to remove the graphics card to ship it or pack it with that expanding foam. Either way, the spider webs can't stay there. So we're going to remove that. We're going to swap the SSD from the slot I installed it to the lower slot so it's not going to conflict with the USB ports on the rear panel. And then we're going to do a fresh install of Windows so that it arrives to the winner in a nice pristine state. Windows 11 is installing on this system. I pulled out the extra SSD so it doesn't accidentally have the bootloader installed on that. We'll pop it back in before we finalize everything. Now we're just packing some things up. Time to put away the Halloween decorations and also packing up the extra stuff. So like the blacklight LEDs that I pulled out of there, definitely weren't going to survive shipping because they were installed with blue tack. So we'll pop those back in the box, get everything sorted out. The Windows 11 installer I'm using still is compatible with the local only commands, so we can do a local account on this PC. For the next task, we have a time limit now. This is my wife's PC, transferred into this Hyte X50 case a few weeks back. You can check out the video on that if you're interested. But when we did that, I realized that the all-in-one liquid cooler in this build has a pump rattle. I don't trust pumps with pump rattles because I know they're going to fail eventually. So we're going to swap it for this Montech NX400 ARGB, perfectly adequate white air cooler that will match here. So we're just going to pull that out, install this, and I need to do this because my wife needs this computer for her personal use in the next hour and a half or so. So I'm crossing our fingers that everything goes smoothly. All right, so AIO has been removed, and I marked this bottom fan because I don't know if you guys recall, some of the fans, after being in use for some time, had some stuck LEDs, and this one had a stuck LED. Even though I tried to check it, I missed that it still had one. So I'm gonna see if I can swap in fans that do not have stuck LEDs, since we do have a few extras from that build. Of course, to do that properly, I will need to plug these in and test them. But before we do that, let's get the new air cooler installed. If you guys are wondering why I'm using this particular air cooler, it is because a 12700K does not require overkill cooling or anything like that. And this actually came free in the Newegg combo deal that I got the 9800X3D for the other build. And while I've certainly been accused of like, you only show products that you get sampled by manufacturers and stuff before, no, I am often very practical. I try to use the parts that I have. This one has a silver fin stack and everything, but they include this little cap to go on the top. And I'm also planning to swap the Montech included fan with the Corsair fans so that it all matches. And we'll cross our fingers that those don't develop any more stuck LEDs. All right, this guy, where are you going? Last remnant of the AIO. Oh, except for the backplate. Since I do so many AMD builds that have a built-in backplate, this backplate cutout can be slightly less useful, but Why is there a back plate cut out? It's so if you need to swap a CPU cooler, if you have a failure or something like that, you can get at the mount without having to remove the entire motherboard, which is convenient. This is like a standard Asetek mount that's used for the Asus AIO that we had. We have a very similar one here from our Montech kit. I just couldn't quite be sure if those mounts are the standard height or anything, so to be safe, I'll use the one that came with the air cooler that we had. And since we have the back plate cut out, we should just be able to pop this in. Fortunately, our mounting kit is labeled for Intel LGA 1700. These are the ones we want. Holding the bracket from the back. Might need Joe's help. Joe? Yeah, can you? Sometimes Joe comes over and he's like, what can I do to help? And I do everything, but this is like, I'm really, really glad you're here today, Joe. I don't know how I would have done that. There's one side, it's loose, but they're all threaded on there, so it shouldn't go anywhere. Yay. All right, time for some thermal paste reapplication. The added pressure here is not helping with the decision making. I wanted to go push-pull with this setup, and at first I thought I'm not going to be able to because our ROG Maximus motherboard has extra housing because it has like a liquid cooling for the VRMs and stuff that we're not using. I thought it was going to block the fans, and then I was like, oh no, actually I think there is enough clearance. Maybe we can do push-pull. And then I looked for more of these fan retention brackets in the accessories that came with our Montech NX400 ARGB cooler. And I'm sad and disappointed, Montech, that your NX400 ARGB cooler does not include a simple 2 more of these little retention clips. I cannot do push-pull because I don't have clips to hold the pull fan on, so we're just gonna leave that out. I tried to like grab some, I have other air coolers that have little clips like these. Just thought I might be able to like steal those from a Noctua kit or something, but I tried a couple, they didn't fit. So we're just gonna have a single fan on our air cooler. It'll be fine. There we go. All right, let's test this out. There we go. There's no stuck LEDs on that fan, right? I don't think so. Lastly, to preserve the overall look of this build, I do want to still have the 3 fans that were attached to the radiator there, but I would like it if those 3 fans had all LEDs that were controllable and not stuck to one specific color. So I'm gonna double check both of these by plugging them in and making sure the LEDs are functional. All right, that one's good. All right, there's the stuck one. See, it is pink, so it kind of matches, but I'd still rather have not any stuck LEDs. We can turn them pink with the software if we really want to. This one looks okay too. That was my problem before. I didn't check the front and back. I only looked at it from one side. That one is good. 4. Yay! All right, we got another clean one. Now I can mount these. Also, I'm gonna flip them. Before we had like intake here, and then that was an exhaust right there. The air coming in here was feeding to the CPU radiator cooler. But now since there's no radiator there, I'm gonna flip them all to positive, so we'll have lots of positive pressure in this and feeding all the air back through this direction. Bada bing. Looks pretty much the same, I feel like. All right, well, that mission's accomplished. Here you are, updated with no more AIO cooler pump noise. I managed to beat the deadline with my wife's PC. That is back up and running, functional, has been restored to her desk so she can use it this afternoon. Switching back over to the future dusk build, as you can see, spiderwebs have been cleared out and I did manage to get Windows reinstalled. I have reloaded the MSI Center software By the way, for anyone who's using the MSI Center software, go and click the little gear button and then go and turn off the thing that lets MSI track and use your data. Also, I recommend turning off notifications because one of the first notifications that popped up was, hey, do you want to install Norton? What is it with these control software from like Gigabyte and MSI, and I haven't installed Armory Crate in a while, but like with wanting to install really crappy antivirus software onto your system, it's maddening. But yeah, it's like if you want to control your RGB software, it automatically turns this on, allowing MSI to collect and process your data. Anyway, that's disabled for now. We also have the latest NVIDIA driver installed, and I downloaded but not quite did not install yet the AMD chipset driver. So I'm gonna install the chipset driver, shut down the system, install the second SSD so we can get that formatted as well, and then turn on XMP, and then I think this should be all finished as far as setup. We've also run all the Windows updates on it, so it's up to date there. Let's get our latest chipset driver going. Jumped into the BIOS after restarting. We're gonna switch our memory to Expo setting 1. Save and reset. Popping our 2 terabyte SSD back in. Cool. There's our other SSD. We will make a partition. There it is. All right, so we got our Windows operating system drive, supplemental 2 terabytes of storage. I also went into the MSI Center and used their cooling wizard, which is also installed to set the fan profiles for the 3 fan headers that all of our case fans are connected to. So that kept them down to a more quieter 800 RPM or so, and they'll ramp up if the CPU gets hot. So at this point, our system is set up and good to go for the winter. Last bit of TLC for this build, as several people mentioned in the comment section, I had some twist ties in there, and these metal twist ties are okay for cable management, but they do have metal in them, so they can potentially create a short or something like that. So for those of you who did notice that, I'm replacing those twist ties with zip ties. I hope you're happy now. Let's get it. Gotta hug it. Ah, look at that. Handholds still work. Beautiful. So getting back to how this video started and how do I deal with the kind of ridiculous amount of hardware that I have on hand here and the fact that I don't do a very good job at handling it. It's because, like today, I had 2 systems I wanted to do some work on, and then I said, oh, and then I'll do this and this and this. We're out of time having completed the 2 systems that I worked on. But when I do a giveaway, I try to make sure that whoever gets the giveaway system has a system that is ready to go, and also that includes any accessories, stuff like that was included with it. So I'm very glad that this is all packed up and good to go, so we have our space cleared away for another system. I also have some stuff on hand here from the mail time that we did last week. So also, to continue sharing the wealth and reducing the amount of things that I have here in my garage, these are gonna go to Joe. Here you go, Joe. Andy, right there. Joe's also claiming the mouse mat so he can bring it on our Vegas trips with us and stuff like that. So Ruben, thank you again for sending that over. And I know this video was a little random, but thank you guys for stopping by and sharing some time with me. And maybe now you know a little bit more about how I finish off a build that's meant for giveaway and get it ready to go and packed up, as well as finally some closure on my wife's PC, because I know a lot of people, when they heard that pump noise, were like, oh yeah, you probably shouldn't leave that in there. So I'm very glad that's taken care of as well. But I'm gonna post links to the videos on the builds down in the description. Some other links will be down there too. If you guys wanna check out my store at paulshardware.net, you can buy shirts, mugs, and pint glasses to help support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when the videos go up for the November build and the December build. And once again, we're doing our charity live stream on Saturday, December 6th. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all in the next video.